The views, information, or opinions expressed in this program are those of the individual guests and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Alaska's News Source or its parent company. Statements made by guests are captured in real time and have not been independently verified by Alaska's News Source.
Raw, revealing conversations with newsmakers and rebels. Everyday people with extraordinary lives and experts from mental health to chasing your best life. We're all in search of answers, so we ask. So Lauren, thank you so much for coming in and doing this. And tell what time is it and where are you?
I'm outside of London. I'm in a place called Hampshire, and it's 10 o'clock here, so hence my little baby here. Might get a little thirsty during this interview.
And I don't even know how to describe you. Just kind of overall fantastic and magical unicorn out in the world. How would you describe yourself to other people?
I probably wouldn't say magical unicorn, but I am flattered. I think I'm kind of like when people go, oh, describe what you do and who you are. It's like, I feel like I'm Forrest Gump. Because he did all these weird things where he played football and then he got shot in the butt and then he was friends with the president or whatever. And I'm like, well, at the age of 0, I was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, and was raised on a gold mine, had a really crazy upbringing, then got into, then I was a lifeguard. Then I got fired for being a lifeguard because I was on the phone, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then I got into news, and that's where you and I met. So yes. I was a journalist for KTVF in Fairbanks, and then went to chemo in Anchorage. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I actually don't want to be doing news. I want to be doing comedy. And I knew forever that I wanted to be working in comedy, but where do you do that in Alaska? It's almost impossible. So I bought a one-way ticket to New York City, and I'm sure you remember this.
Oh, yes.
Quit my job and was like, okay, I'm going to go be on Saturday Night Live or something like that. I'm just going to go walk into Lauren Michaels' office and see what happens.
That's so nervy though. That's not just I'm going to a club, but I'm just going to the top. How do you even do, how do you even do that?
Everyone was scared for me, except for myself. I was fearless. And I look back on younger Lauren and I go, girl, that's crazy what you did. Because if my sister's I'm just going to quit my really good job and move to New York City without knowing anyone or knowing anything, I'd be like, this is dangerous. I'm moving there to be your bodyguard. And I moved to New York. Everyone was like, you don't have to do this. I know you already quit your job. I know that, and I was like, no. If I don't do this, I'm going to look back one day and go, I'm so mad at myself that I didn't, do my dream, go live my dream. And I'd been dreaming of living in New York since really when I was a kid. And I remember thinking, you know what I want to see when I look out the window? I don't want to see Mount McKinley. I want to see the World Trade Center. I want buildings. I want the noise of New York City and the traffic and the people and the culture. Mm-hmm. So when I was 20, I quit my job and went to New York City from Alaska.
Were you 20 at the time?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were 20 then.
It was 2 weeks before my 21st birthday.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
And
you were at my going away party.
I know. I would say I took your bed. Yes. And it should be noted that she moved to New York with a golden retriever too.
I had my golden Madison.
Golden Madison.
You know what I realized, and this is me being a bad dog mom. Dogs should not be in New York City. I had a small apartment, and here's this dog from Alaska, and I was like, well, you're a city dog now. Now we go to Madison Square Park.
Be like, that's who you are now.
Yeah. That's your identity. And I love him, and I'm so happy that I had a dog during that time, but New York is much easier without a dog.
Yeah. So you're there, and
So what do you do? Are you like, well, I mean, do you feel like, in my mind, you have to go to do like stand-up comedy clubs, or like, what do you do? Like, how do you make this happen now?
Right. So you have to keep in mind that this was 2004. There wasn't like social media or anything like that yet, which is probably really good for me because I might have been fired or canceled or something. But I remember looking up auditions for after I landed in New York, and I found an audition that was on the same day that I landed. So I remember flying into Newark, and it was the afternoon. It was so hot, and it was August 23rd, 2004. And I had found out about this audition, and it was for a pilot for VH1 called Indie Film News. And I got an audition slot, and I go straight from the airport, Newark, to the audition. Which
Oh my gosh.
And then I realized it was a walk-up building. So on the 6th floor, I had to I literally have my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
Two big suitcases, and I dragged them all the way up. And for some reason, I thought it was smart to wear pink heels that I had just got, because I was like, here's my New York thing. And so I get up, I'm sweating profusely, and I open this door to the casting room, and there's 100 women who look exactly like me. And I was like, oh my God, what did I just do?
Oh my gosh.
And then I get into the audition room, and a guy goes, you look so familiar. I know you. Like, you look so familiar. And I go, that's impossible. I literally just got off an airplane from Alaska. Like, I don't even have an apartment.
You're like,
yet.
whatever.
Yeah. And he goes, I know you because you did the news. And he was in Alaska.
No.
And recognized me from the news when we were in Anchorage. And I was like, oh my God. And I booked it. So within.
No. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I was like, New York's, it's a breeze. I don't know what everyone else is talking about. And so I went from that audition to a few days later, interviewing Robert Altman, the famous director, and going to like the Angelica Film Center and going to these really fancy after parties and interviewing celebrities. And I was like, oh my God, I'm literally doing it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing the thing that I didn't even know what I wanted to do exactly. I knew I wanted to be on camera. I knew I wanted to write. I knew I wanted to be funny. And it just happened so quickly. But then in New York, that's all it is. And
right.
Then the next day you wake up and you're like, okay, what's next? And so what was next is I went across the street and I got a job working the front desk at the local gay gym called David Barton Gym. And I was like, wow, how humbling from doing the news and having this really prestigious job in Alaska to working the front desk at a gay gym in New York City within like just a few weeks of each other. And I was like, I'm starting again. Like, I'm literally
oh my gosh,
yeah, over again.
That's scary though. Like
I had no fear.
No, is that kind of the key, that it's just to be like, I'm gonna be successful?
Well, I don't even know if it's successful, but it's like, I don't know who said this, but I remember reading something where it was like, jump and the net will appear. Oh. Jump and the net will appear. And that has been my motto, kind of like my whole adulthood, is like, we don't have time to sit here and think about what all could go wrong, because I'm going to make it work out. I'm going to do it. And yeah, maybe I fail, maybe I'm not successful at it, but I have to do it. So I knew, like, I have to move to New York. That's no question in my mind. Everyone else is worried about me. I'm not. And I jumped and I was fine. Oh my gosh. You know, like I figured it out. Yeah. Right. So like the feeling of fear, I think that, and it is scary. It's not like I thought, oh, I'm safe, I'm doing all this. And I wasn't like super confident. I was just like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't easy, but you know, like here I am years later, and I did all these things and learned the hard way, but I love my journey of going from Alaska to New York to now LA. And, you know, it's just like so wild, all the twists and turns that happened.
So tell me about about SNL though. Like,
yeah,
tell me that's what I want to hear too. I have not heard the story.
Okay. So I don't know if you know this, but in New York City, you moved there from Alaska, and suddenly the entire cast of Saturday Night Live is around you, and
Oh
they're
my,
just normal people. And I had watched Saturday Night Live, I think since fourth grade, like religiously, where I had notebooks. I didn't even know comedy writer was a thing, but I
oh,
had notebooks every Saturday night. I'd watch SNL at my parents' house, and I would write down all the funny jokes and all the things that I thought were like made me laugh. And so when I moved to New York, I got into improv, and I studied at the Upright Citizens Grade Theater, which is owned by Amy Poehler and a couple other comedians. And my information was given to like the casting directors at Saturday Night Live and at Jimmy Fallon and at all these different shows. And I remember getting a call from the casting person, Matt McHugh, over at Saturday Night Live. And he's like, hey, we have a sketch. We want you to come in and like be a part of the family and like do this. And then I was on SNL doing kind of like little tiny little parts where it wasn't just like background, but it was like glorified background, where I would have these really fun sketches where maybe a cast member couldn't be in it. So I would fill in, and one of the most famous ones that I was in was the Peyton Manning United Way commercial. Do you remember that?
I remember this one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he comes up to me and I'm sitting on a bench and he's like, hi, don't bother the pretty lady. And he's like, hi, I'm Peyton. And so I was in like all these different sketches for Saturday Night Live, but I became friends with a lot of the cast members because I did improv at UCB, and it all kind of like turns out to be a really small world. So I just like got in with the SNL people, and I was just called into the show multiple times throughout the years, and I got to be in like a bunch of sketches, and I probably should have aimed higher, but I was happy with like, okay, I'll be like a small piece of this show, which is, like
That's
gonna go
huge though.
history.
That's like really cool.
Show. Yeah. Yeah.
So then like are you like, I want a full-time job here? Like, how does that work? And like, where is your ambitions going at this point?
I mean, I remember my mom being like, you should go ask Lauren Michaels to like hire you full time. And I'm like, that's not how it works. He will ban me from 30 Rock if I even make eye contact with him. But it wasn't like I wanted a full-time job there. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do yet. Like, I wanted to get into comedy, and then I got into improv, and then I was like, I got into hosting, and then I got into fashion, and then I, just like one thing opened up after the other. And then I got into comedy writing, and I realized, oh, that's actually what I want to do. Like, I don't want to be a cast member. I don't want to be necessarily like a writer on SNL. I would, probably give it to me. But it wasn't really my ambition to do that. I just felt like, okay, I have all these things that I can offer, and all these interests, and all these, like, I just want to do everything. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem is people feel like they have to do one thing and really like focus on that. And I just wanted to do all of it all the time. Like, whatever opportunity came my way, I wanted to say yes and do that.
That seems like a good idea though. Just like that, like, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to do that.
Right. And that's like the whole premise of improv is yes and. Like, that's the number one rule of improv. You'd always say, excuse me, you always say yes and then add something onto it to like build the scene. So I feel like my whole life has kind of been yes and. Like, yes, I will host this show, and I will go to Fashion Week and do all these things. And yes, I will travel the world and do this other da-da-da. So it's just like saying yes and to everything instead of shooting it down. Because I never knew. I was always like, you know what? In New York, it really is true that anything can happen at any time. And I just was always prepared for that.
Okay, so what are you doing now, and how? And talk a lot also about like your life experiences and how they impact your work.
Yeah. Okay. So I moved to Los Angeles in 2015, and I got into reality TV, which I did.
Which show?
So I did a couple shows. I wrote, Shaquille O'Neal had a show, Chicken Shack, that I wrote on. I worked on a show on Comedy Central called At Midnight. And then kind of like when I figured out like, oh, this is what I want to do, I was working as a writer and producer for X on the Beach, which was on MTV. So I did that for 5 seasons, I want to say. And it kind of took me all over the world. So we did 2 seasons in Malibu. Then we went to New Zealand and shot a season. Then we went to Spain and shot a season. But it was like one of the original, like queer dating shows. And I think I'm a lesbian, which, hi. I made the mistake of dating men for a really long time, and I regret all of it. Sorry, McHugh. But I just was like, I only want to work on gay shows. I want to spend all of my time being gay and making gay content and like letting other queer people be on TV. And like, I just, you know, all of the Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise and like all these other dating shows were so straight and so boring. We need lesbians. We need non-binary people. We need trans people. We need everyone, because that's where the drama is. And that's like good TV. And also it's representation. I wish growing up that we had representation, like now identifying as lesbian. I didn't see lesbians on television. You know, it just wasn't a thing. I remember maybe eventually Ellen had an episode where she came out and, you know, like I knew back then, like, oh, I'm really attracted to women. It's too bad I'm not a lesbian, you know, but like kind of the wheel started like clicking.
Like turns out.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wait, I don't like dating men. Oh, I don't have to. Great. I wish someone told me this a long time ago.
Solved a lot of problems.
A lot of problems. But yeah, so when I moved to LA, I was just like really into this like queer scene and wanting to make gay television and write and just kind of focus on like, okay, this is like a new generation. We're all like happily gay and it's not a big deal. And, you know, everyone's fine. And then I ended up getting catfished during the pandemic, which, you know, because I wrote a whole series called Trashley about getting catfished by my ex-girlfriend, Ashley, like during the pandemic. And everyone's like, I'm so sorry you got catfished. And I'm like, it couldn't have happened to a better person because I get to write this story and it's so insane.
It's insane.
Insane. Rebecca, you read this.
Oh, I was obsessed with this. Like every day logging on to be like, she has to have a new one out. She has to put a new one out. Like, how do you do that though? Like, because like you what you're doing though too is making yourself vulnerable, and you know, I guess it just seems brave, you know, though, to be like, I'm going to put myself out there, and here are the warts and everything, and but how do you do that though, and not feel guarded?
Well, I put my guard down, and that was huge for me. I think like my big thing is I started going to therapy and really like doing some deep work on myself, and I realized, oh, telling the truth and being honest and like just saying things like that are accurate is fun and funny. And it's like funnier than lying. I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about getting catfished during the pandemic, and I'm not going to be embarrassed about it, even though it was normally people would be like, this is, you shouldn't tell anyone about this because you look bad. But I'm like, yeah, I know I look bad in some of it, but it's a true thing that happened. And I think some of the best writing comes from your true experience. And so just having to be open and honest about yourself. Like I know, you know, I know a lot of my faults and my flaws and all of that. And I tried to be honest about that during Trashley when I was writing it, just to be like, I'm not a pretty little princess, you know, who was completely a victim. Like, I got sucked into this world and sucked into like whatever was happening around me, instead of doing probably the normal and correct thing, which would have been to be like, you know what, your stories aren't adding up. And a lot of people are warning me about you. This should be done. But instead, I was like in detective mode, and I was like, where's this going to lead? What's going to happen next? And luckily, Trashley, it really did give me a chance to be honest about how I identify, how I live myself. And I think also it's a story about friendship, because no, I don't want to like spoil the ending, but getting catfished by this woman who pretended to be a physicist and pretended to be rich and pretended to be a professor at MIT, and, you know, like literally lied about everything.
Seemed like the best, like, it seemed like the super catch, you know?
Yeah, like I was like, God, I only date stupid people. What if I date a smart person who's like a professor of physics? And she wasn't any of that. But it turns out she didn't tell me, you know, she had a wife and her wife was pregnant with their second child. And so there's a part of Trashley that's really tragic, that her wife had to endure an affair. And her wife tried to reach out to me and say, hey, you don't know the extent of what's going on here. Ashley is not single. She's not childless. She has a family. And they lived in the Midwest. And it took me like a year to really reach out to the wife for the first time.
Oh,
when
wow.
all the lies stopped. Like, you know, like I just was like, Ashley's definitely lying about everything. And I started talking to Ashley's wife. And now she is one of my best friends who I talk to every single day. And we go on vacation together. And, you know, we went to Berlin this summer and she brought her kids. And she came out to LA for New Year's this year. And here's this person who lives in the Midwest, who's a teacher and lovely and smart and such a great mom. And she went through some of the darkest times with her now ex-wife, and I was a part of that, and it really hurts to have contributed to her pain. And at least I think both of us, you know, we got through that, and now we're really close and we talk all the time. And I think of her as a sister, and I think a lot of people would look at, oh, here's the wife and here's the mistress. This is an unlikely friendship, and we are so close. And it is like having another sister. So taking a story like Trashley and all this horrible stuff that we both went through and turning it into something creative was nice. But then also having this friendship out of it was like, okay, at least we have each other, you know, and we like get each other and understand what happened.
Do you write every day? Like, do you take notes of your day?
Hold, please. Hold, please.
I'm scared of what we're going to see.
Yeah. Do I write every day? Writing every day is it's my thing. It's exactly what I do. First thing, I wake up early, I light my candles, I make my coffee, and then I sit down and I do,
oh my gosh. That's
day,
amazing.
Every day, 3 pages.
Oh, my goodness.
There's tons of these. Tons of journals. I ordered a special safe for them. So I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Well, what if my place catches fire? I have to save my journals.
That's amazing, though. That's really.
Every morning.
And what are you writing? Like, is it like your journal of like, here's my day, or here's a note I think that would be a good follow up on something? Like, what do you write?
Well, I write whatever comes to mind. Like, I don't think about what I write, which is kind of the freedom. And I even started doing this journal because I read The Artist's Way, which I'm sure you've heard of or read, where it's about unleashing your creative self. And I journal now every morning 3 full pages. And I look at my brain as a junk drawer. So I have all these stupid thoughts. There's everything. It's like, you know, like I have a song stuck in my head that I can't get out. And then I also like, you know, had a weird interaction with this person, and my neighbor is being loud because he's like getting his car detailed out front, you know. So I just like, I'm like, I talk shit about everyone. I wake up and I'm like, time to let it loose. And so, for example, let me find something. Can I read you like a little?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, but is this going to take up your time? Because I don't want to read something where it's like somebody else is involved.
I've got like got 2 minutes. You got a 2-minute one? Okay, cool. Because I want to hear this.
Okay, so, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to find something.
No pressure.
Okay, this facial is going to be amazing. I could take tomorrow to get a mani-pedi and go shopping at thrift stores. Out of the closet, Goodwill, the Crossroads on Hyperion. See what I find. And then I start talking about data breaches. And you know, I'm like, somebody in my neighborhood was talking about a data breach, and then I like did a whole thing on that. And then I go, God, here's 2 unhappy people raising kids and not even wanting to like change or move. And I'm just like literally saying whatever I want about whoever, whatever, like crossed my path or like is on my mind. But my journal is like my writing practice. So every morning I wake up, I journal, and then throughout the rest of the day, I write. You know, but I'm like focused. I got rid of the junk drawer. It got out of my brain, and now I can like focus on what's actually important.
I'm going to steal that idea. I love that. That's a great idea. Lauren, it was so fun to see you, and it was so good to talk with you.
I know. I'm like literally going to have to go to Anchorage and track you down.
Yes, you have to. Absolutely.
I know where you live. I will find you.
Excellent. I look forward to this. Thanks, girl.
Girl, thank you. This is so fun.
I know, this was fun. Well, go and enjoy the countryside, and I shall follow you.
Yay. I will take you to places.
Thank you.